Welcome to Makers International, a podcast of makers from 3 countries, 2 continents, and featuring 5 guys separated only by the same language. Here's your host, Richard Morley.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good times, whatever time it is, wherever you're listening. Join with me as always, Mr. Chris Cute.
How you doing, everybody?
Mr. Joe Whitaker.
You're right, Sam, yeah.
Jamie Page.
Hello.
And this week's special guest, Heath Knuckles. How you getting on?
What's happening, folks? Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. In answer to your question, we have no idea what's happening because we are well into this now and it's all kind of a bit of a blur, but I'll be back with you in just a second. Just our usual shout-outs, thank yous and sponsor thing. So obviously a big thank you, big shout-out to everyone who's been commenting, being part of the live shows and generally getting in touch with us across the website, social medias, the YouTube channel and everything else as well. We genuinely love hearing from you guys and makes you part of the show. So thank you to everybody. This week's podcast, as always, is brought to you in part by Yorkshire Grit, the wood turners abrasive paste. For more information, visit yorkshire-grit.com. And still supporting us wholeheartedly is our good friend Chad from Mancrafting, giving away one of his awesome Mancrafting mugs. And they truly are awesome. I love mine, and I know the guys will say the same. If you want to find out more about our sponsors, visit our website, makersinternationalpodcast.com/sponsors. Chris, do we have any random listener questions?
We have questions that couldn't be more random this week, Richard, and we have 2 of them, and they're related to each other. Ellen asks about each of us, what is your favorite fruit?
Okay, that's random.
And then Soph says, and unrelated, Soph says, what's your favorite vegetable? So you know what? We're willing to answer any friggin' thing. So Ellen, Soph, absolutely wonderful questions. Richard, what's your favorite fruit? What's your favorite vegetable? And pretend we care.
My favorite vegetable has got to be potatoes because they're kind of understated, but you can do so much with it. You can make so much more with just a humble potato. So that's the vegetable. Fruit, it's going to be torn between strawberries and raspberries, I think.
I'm going with raspberries for you. All right, who else?
Yeah.
For me, it's got to be parsnips. And I'm probably going to say orange.
Aren't you glad you aren't Jamie? All right, what about Joe?
Fruit, not a colour. Jamie?
Oh, right. Yellow then.
Fair enough.
So lemon, it works both ways. I know we do. Joe, what about you, man?
Well, mine can be short and sweet or a little bit longer if we need to run time on, because I literally eat no fruit or vegetables. 100% no fruit or vegetables. No joke at all.
He's the anti-vegan.
Yep.
Okay.
How do you eat no fruit and vegetables?
Well, this is what I was going to say. Like, it could go on a little bit more. With my health condition, I've always been advised to stay away from them. So if it's like I've got any excuse, people telling me not to eat them, I'm definitely not going to be like, oh, I'll just have a bit of broccoli, shall I? But I actually saw a dietitian last week. Walked in, she said, what do you have to eat like on a daily basis? And I told her, I literally live off meat and cheese, that's it. Do you eat any fruit or veg? No fruit or veg. I then had a half an hour lecture about why I shouldn't be eating fruit and veg. After I just sat there and told her, no fruit or veg passes my lips, she's like, stay away from potatoes, stay away from carrots. I just told you, like, what was the point in that? The whole conversation we just had that 1 second ago was a waste of time.
That's a case of somebody just tuning you right the hell out. It was like, you know what, Joe? Well, I didn't hear what you just said, so I'm going to go ahead and give you this lecture anyway.
Got to get the paycheck. Something to write in the book, I think.
All right, Heath, what kind of spheres do you like to eat? When it comes
what kind of fruits do I like to eat? Is it, so
I said spheres because I mean there's an awesome sphere behind you, but I was trying to be clever. All right, move on.
Let's go with prickly pear. Prickly pear for the fruit, and probably asparagus as far as a vegetable.
There you go.
Sophisticated.
That is very sophisticated.
I've got to be honest. I like Sarah Connor's from Watertooth Designs answer. She said, "Favorite fruit or veggie?" Equal beef.
Beef.
A good
That's what I
thing.
should have said.
Well, my favorite fruit is Jamie. My favorite vegetable is Richard. So there you go.
That works as well. I think for a first show of 2018, I think we've kind of thoughtfully
Set the
set the bar low enough.
So that
We've got 12 months to improve now. Let's kick off 2018 really right there.
as horribly as we can.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a quick follow-up question from Sophie for Joe. She said, "What's your favourite cheese then?"
Cheese. At the moment, it's mozzarella. It's not the flavour; it's the texture more than anything. Flavour, I'd probably go Parmesan.
I do have a favorite cheese. You want me to stand up and give it to you? No, I'm just. No, my favorite cheese is Gouda. I love Gouda cheese.
Oh, that stinks like feet.
Oh, it's delicious.
But it tastes so good, though. Gouda cheese is awesome. Anyway, all right, whatever.
Excellent. I've got a shout. I've just remembered a shout out for later in the show now, which I didn't have before, but now I've got to go and find the video. Anyway. So this week's proper topic, I'll go find that video later. The actual episode topic, as hopefully, if Chris has done the thumbnail correctly, which he always does because he's the organised one amongst us, is we're talking about video theft. I guess video piracy. We all must have seen those intro trailers when we buy VHS and DVDs and things like that, about video piracy. But it is rife on the internet, as I'm sure everybody will know. And hopefully, Heath, you can give us a little insight, because I think did you not have something like that happen to you at the tail end of last year?
A few times. I've been chasing some of those on Facebook. Folks have been messaging me, and it's a little frustrating because you have to sit down for 15 minutes, file a report for each and every video or every instance that occurs, and I'd much rather be making things in the shop over sitting behind the computer. So, but it's part of it, I guess. If you're willing to put your stuff out there, folks are going to latch onto it, and hopefully you just try to chase that around a little bit. And thank you to the maker community, because most of the time it's individuals I know that's part of this large group we have here, and I don't have time to watch a whole lot of YouTube, but folks have sent me some links, and that's made it much easier to take care of those situations.
So what, talk us through, the video, which one it was, and where that actually sit. I mean, it's not happened to me personally, and I'm kind of, well, I don't think it's happened to me. I'm not aware of it. But how did it sort of affect you from start to, a resolution? Hopefully you got a resolution.
Well, I bet, obviously it's frustrating, but it would have been mainly my first video that I had uploaded to YouTube, and then of course the Sphere video as well. I don't mind if folks toss it out on their Facebook page, but it's nice when they put what they seem to want to do is take your YouTube channel link, and instead of placing that in the original post, they'll stamp it down in the comment section. I know there was one Facebook page that decided to share my Facebook page, a link to my Facebook page, and that would have been the Red Sphere or Red Dawn video, and I was flooded with messages. I'm working on maintaining my Facebook page now, but I certainly didn't maintain it prior to the Red Dawn video. I did find some growth as far as my Facebook page. I think right before I released that video, I was right at about approximately 350 followers, and within like 2 weeks, it shot up to over 20,000 on my Facebook page. So I guess that's a good thing, but hard to keep up with the messages, though.
Yeah, but here's my problem with that, Heath, and I know that you, in a roundabout way, got some backhanded, love for them doing that. The premise to what I have the problem with is that people, without your consent, are taking your work that you put up, and they are taking it and using it for their own benefit without ever asking you if they can or not. And even though you may somehow sort of backhandedly get some love, like on Facebook, which, by the way, how much money have you made off Facebook this year, Heath? Yeah, nothing, absolutely zero. So, but I mean, if they had taken your video and shared it to their Facebook page, leaving the YouTube URL and link intact, you would have gotten those views. But you know what? They know, like we know, YouTube doesn't propagate Facebook doesn't propagate YouTube videos. So they don't do that. What they do is they steal your content, because that's exactly what they're doing, because they haven't asked you for it or even asked for permission if they could do it. They just went ahead and did it as if it was like in the public domain, and it is not in the public domain. This is something that you've worked your ass off to do, that you've put out there for your viewers on your channel, that you expect YouTube to compensate you for, for most of us, the 25 cents that you'll get from that video. But it's not even the 25 cents. It's the point of the whole friggin' thing. Is that's my property you just friggin' stole. And even though you say you're trying to give me some love by mentioning me and you mentioning my Facebook page, that's all well and good. But let's go back to the original problem. The problem is it goes back further than that. And that's the point to where you felt it was okay to take my stuff and put it on your stuff and make it appear to be yours. That's the problem. I mean, that's the issue I have with it. It just sucks.
No, I understand completely.
And it's, you know what? And I'm this upset, and it's never even happened to me. It has never happened to me. It's just, but I've seen it happen to other people, and it just ticks me off.
I think there's a misconception that once it's on social media, because there's this, share button, and it says share. People like, we like to share stuff. And look what I found. You'll find this interesting as well. That personally, I think that's okay. I haven't got a problem with stuff that I put on my public page to be shared for other people to see. What gets me is a lot of these Facebook. It seems to be an ongoing cesspit of this. There are pages, not groups or individual business pages, but kind of unrelated general topic groups like woodworking stuff. I'm making these names up because DIY things and model generic Facebook pages, and they're run by people who actually make zero content of their own. They just take this related thing and they post it on one day, and then on another day they take some other related topic, and they just propagate their own page with stuff that they've taken from other places, but they're posting it to their own page. So it's as if they're generating the content. And since the dawn of video on Facebook, because that's only really a couple of years old when it really started to get in there, people have started putting watermarks on these videos. And that was one that I noticed of yours, Heath, which was, and I think I commented, I didn't message you directly, but because I could see in the comments, and there were thousands of comments of, this is Heath's stuff. Can somebody tag Heath? And yeah, it's been done. And it was just, so there's no point in giving you another message to try and reply to.
Yeah.
But it was physically watermarked, the video, with this Facebook page's avatar. And for people that, aren't quite necessarily, they're just viewers of stuff on the internet. They're not makers of stuff on the internet. They think, oh, this page is interesting because I'm seeing all this cool stuff. And the assumption is that the guy that runs this page, or the people that run this page, it's their stuff, and it's not. I mean, has anyone ever asked you to take your stuff and do that? Or was this the case?
What do you mean exactly?
So the video in question, I mean, it was like 4,000 or 5,000 comments, shares from this page. They'd watermarked your video, but had that page contacted you and said, "We love what you've done. Can we share it and put it on our page?"
If I'm thinking of the right page, I'm pretty sure they had contacted me and asked for permission. I think the one thing is basically, I almost want to draw a diagram, or just a little picture that says, this is what I expect if you would like to share my content. And I think you have to really be specific as far as the details as to how you want those folks to post your content on their page. Most of them have been, you know, kind enough to credit the video, but there's been a handful. I'm still chasing a few right now, and it's a pain in the ass, really. Much rather be doing other things.
Yeah, I mean, you make stuff because you like making stuff, and you share it because people are interested to see it. You're not interested in chasing faceless names on a web page somewhere for, you know, basically getting your stuff.
Well, and
back.
if you try to message them on Facebook, you know, they generally have an auto reply.
Yeah,
we're busy. You know, we're busy off doing something. And I think, okay, I guess I'll just have to file report the video, and that's fine. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, you collect all that time you sat in front of a PC to report, you know, people basically swiping your content and uploading it on their page for, you know, to draw attention to their page. Of course, that's their ultimate goal. There's a lot of time there, and again, you know, we only have so much time to enjoy the short little stint we get to hang out on this planet, and I certainly don't want to do it that way.
No, I completely agree. Because didn't it happen to, was it Joe that?
Yeah, it's happened to Joe. Joe, yeah, why don't you chime in on this? Because I know this has happened to you on a couple of occasions as well.
That's the thing. I think, like, everyone has to respect what each creator's view on it is, because I know there's a lot of people out there who don't really care if their content's taken and posted, and that's completely up to them. That's their work, and that's what it should always be. From my personal point of view, I see it, we're kind of in a unique situation with what our YouTube videos are, because we aren't in the content area of not making physical things. We actually make a physical project that takes a set number of hours to make. We then sit down and spend X amount of hours editing that content, adding on more value, more work to that piece that then gets uploaded to our channel. And then it's just a case of a couple of clicks from somebody else to download it, re-upload it, and bang, they've got the credit there. And then half the time they don't mention who it's from. I had one video that was posted and they'd cut out my intro, my outro, cropped it so anywhere where you could possibly see my face, you wouldn't see my face. They sped it up, put new music over the top, and burnt their watermark on it. I did have a Facebook page, DIY and Crafts. They'd contacted my manager to ask permission to post the video. Before my manager emailed them back, he went to the page to check what the page was about. And lo and behold, there was my video already posted. Exact same thing, no credit, nothing like that. So, of course, we filed the copyright claims to get them taken down. But from the one video that posted, like Heath had mentioned earlier, that posted like original content, Average Joe's Joinery, with a link to my channel. So what I really found interesting, this is only my statistics from it. Heath obviously had a very good transfer rate to his Facebook page. The video had over 1 million views, and I got 23 clicks through to my YouTube channel from that 1 million views. Now, I could completely understand if I got like thousands of clicks through to my YouTube channel, I'd be more inclined to think, well, I'm not happy about it, but at this moment in time, it's benefiting me to leave it as it is. But for those 23 clicks and seeing those raking in millions of views, having an advert playing on Facebook, because that's something else as well. The larger Facebook pages are able to monetize the things they put up.
Can I ask a stupid question? It's because, you know, my whole, I mean, I remember Chris isn't even on Instagram, so I don't, some of this stuff I don't even understand. What is, as it stands right now, because as it stands right now, Facebook provides creators with no monetization available, as far as I know. What is the benefit that somebody gets from downloading your work and trying to make it appear their work to increase their Facebook page? I mean, do they have a web page behind this or something they're linking themselves to? Or why, what motivation is there behind this for people to do this? I mean, to the point where, Joe, they can take a video of yours, get 1 million freaking views on this video from Facebook. You, in turn, get 23 click-throughs, yeehaw, on YouTube. What? Why? Why do they do that? I'm trying to understand what the deal is. There's got to be a reason why these people do this stuff that I just don't. I don't have a clue.
Well, some of the bigger Facebook pages do have access to monetization now. So if you've got like millions of likes on your Facebook page, Facebook will cut a deal with you to run adverts on videos and posts. So that's one reason. Second reason, like you mentioned, about if they've got a website that they can drive traffic to, whether them selling product or services or even running adverts on the website, that's another way. But I have also heard of sales of Facebook pages. So if you manage to get a Facebook page up to a large followership, like you get 1 million likes on a Facebook page, you could then sell that Facebook page to another business. Could be something completely different. So I could get my Average Joe's Joinery Facebook page up to 1 million likes and then sell it to a website producer for X amount of money, and then they can post all their websites to 1 million people. Won't last very long, but to them, they've now got 1 million followers off the back of doing nothing. So I do know of some sites that have done that. Other than that, notoriety, but I think that I can't see them.
Okay, I knew there had to be a money thing involved in it, because I mean, people don't go to that kind of work and do that kind of to take videos down, strip logos out, remove faces, and they don't do that kind of work unless there's some kind of sort of monetary end to it. I just didn't know what it was, but okay, I still don't understand it, but okay.
And don't forget also, this doesn't potentially have to be a lot of work for somebody. Firstly, you could have, you might have a page in the DIY kind of interest sector. You might have one in holidays, destinations, and one in, I don't know, trains, and one in something else, and one in something else. They might all have 100,000 interested people, but if you've got 5 of them, suddenly that's 500,000 interested people on something. So it doesn't necessarily have to be one thing, lots of people. It could be a few things with half as many people, which is a massive number. So that's one thing. Like Joe says, if you've got lots of $1 coming in, that's a lot of dollars. But also, going back to the work, it doesn't have to be work, because there are bots out there that will do this work for you. And this is something I picked up with our Facebook group, the Makers on YouTube Facebook group. Is we're not a massive group, just over 1,000. We've worked really hard in the last 6 months to get a community in there of people who are, interested, but that are genuinely interested. So we actually, as you guys know, the listeners might potentially not, we actually have 3 questions that people ask, and the 5 of us get the notification, somebody wants to join, they're interested, and we can see what other Facebook groups they're interested in, and this, that, and the other. And we've had a big influx from, I think it was around about October, November time, and suddenly lots of people were interested, weren't they?
Yeah, until today. Yeah, actually, you're right.
And I picked one of them up, because I always look at what other groups they're interested in. There's loads of maker Facebook groups out there, and if somebody's looking at that, and then yeah, come on in. We're not an exclusion of people. We want to include as many as we can. But this one individual, they'd actually joined, or they were a member of, a Facebook group called YouTube Re-Uploader.
Yep.
Yeah, and there are Facebook groups. I mean, I've got some on another screen here. There's at least 4 or 5 on here. YouTube Re-Uploader, YouTube Re-Uploader tutorial, videos Re-Uploader. There's, for people that are interested in that kind of thing, which is kind of weird. And one of them directs you to a website where you can literally download a bit of software and it will do it all for you by all accounts. You just need a PC that's not even a very new PC either. So you don't have to have a lot of work or vested time in this, Chris. It could be...
I know. It's just that, there's I understand, and Joe's explanation of why people might want to do this. Okay, I knew there had to be dollars involved, because nobody's going to do that amount of, even if it's just like you say, Richard, a couple clicks here and there, and taking time to re-upload to Facebook. I mean, it's still time people have to have. I just didn't know why, because there are some Facebook groups out there that are constantly swiping and uploading swiping and uploading, and they're doing it for a reason. I just didn't know what the reason was. I mean, I understand now after Joe explained it to me, but it's just I couldn't get it, because you know what? Let's be honest, because I don't care if I make. I don't make any money on YouTube that's notable. I mean, I really don't. But there's a premise here. YouTube has set an agreement with us that if we do videos and we put them on their site, as little as it may be, they're going to give us a cut of whatever they make from our work, so that we're not actually just giving somebody our work. Because if I was just going to give somebody my work, I wouldn't need YouTube. I just upload it to Facebook. You know, it's like, so, but you get into a mindset to where I'm uploading something and I'm expecting YouTube to, you know, run adverts if I decide I want to monetize my channel. And some people do, some people don't. And then in return, I'll get some glue money in 3 months, you know. It's like, but the point is I've spent the time, Heath has spent the time, Jamie, Richard, Joe, everybody who is a content creator for YouTube has spent the time to not only think of the project that they want to do, and the conception of a project is part of the build process. It goes from conception to, or whatever material you're using, to the final project. And in between time, there's all that videoing that you have to do, the camera angles you have to set up. There's the video editing that needs to be done. There's the music, if you use it, that needs to be chosen. There is and Joe, you may have to edit this, and I apologize, but there is a ton of work that we have to do in order to get a single video out. And for somebody just to come along and grab it and say mine and take it and go away and pretend it was theirs, I don't care if I don't care if I was just uploading to Facebook for no money. That would still tick me off.
Yeah, I mean,
because I mean, come on, that's a lot of work, guys, and you just went and took it and went mine. No, that don't work. The theft is freaking theft. I don't care how you look at it. It really is. And people that are, and Joe, you mentioned people were saying, well, actually, I don't mind. I think that's kind of a compliment. You know, God, I just want to look at those people and go, you don't understand. Please stop being ignorant. That's not okay. It really isn't. I mean, you may think that this is a wonderful compliment, but it's not, because they're not looking to compliment you. They're looking to take advantage of you. Understand that, and I think you'll have a different view of what this is all about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for people sharing my stuff, because by all means share it. The more people that see my videos and it helps and it inspires all the rest of it, fine. All I ask in return is that you make people don't pretend it's yours.
Yeah.
Or don't even make it easy for people to assume it's yours. And I think that's what gets me the most. I don't know if Heath or Joe would agree with that. I mean, it's kind of the twisting of the knife. It's not just the taking of it. It's look what I did.
Yeah.
It's not what you did. Regardless of the money, regardless of the time, it's don't make yourself look good when you've done nothing.
Yeah.
Well, if Facebook would actually do something about it, if a certain page was reported X amount of times, and they're like, okay, Facebook comes in and sweeps, deletes that page. Of course, let's face it, Facebook's not going to do that.
Well, no, very rarely do they, because they have no dog in this fight, because everything that's out there is benefiting them, so they're not in a hurry to help you.
Exactly.
And you know what? I'll tell you what. And prior to this show being released, the produced version of the show being released the week of, I'll try to remember. And Jamie, if you could help me remember this, please do. A good friend of ours, Steve French, wrote a fantastic post a while back, and I saved it. Actually, I have it, and with Steve's permission, I'm going to repost that on our Facebook group, Makers on YouTube. Excuse me. And he goes through step by step the actions you can take if you find a video of yours has been stolen, and what you should do, and the actions you should take for Facebook to recognize it. And it's I would actually read it to you now, except it's quite lengthy, and it involves several URLs. But on Wednesday, when this podcast comes out, just prior to it coming out, I'll try to remember to post that from Steve French. And Steve, if you're listening, fantastic work. He posted it in I think a different group, and I asked him if I could copy it and paste it in ours, and he said, sure, go ahead. So I'm assuming he'll be fine if I do it again. I will ask, however, before I do it again, because I'm not going to steal his intellectual work. That's what this show is all about. But he actually did it. So if it ever happens to you, he wrote a really well stepped version of and it's kind of a first time. If this is the first time it's ever happened to you, don't freak out. Go read this post. Steve will walk you through how to make sure that Facebook takes action on it. Well, he'll walk you through how Facebook says they'll take action on it. Whether they actually do, like Keith mentioned before, is I guess in their ballpark. But I don't know. It's just infuriating. I mean, because if YouTube's not busy screwing us by demonetizing videos that shouldn't be demonetized, and then on top of that, we have to deal with people stealing content, it just becomes very frustrating, guys. It really does.
Just going back to Heath and Joe, have you guys had any experiences of actually getting a resolution and having it, put to bed in your favour and being able to move on, the way it should have been dealt with? Or are you still ongoing with these sort of tussles back and forth?
Well, in my experience, I've literally only had 2 issues with it so far that I've found anyway, and that's from people telling me it took like a couple of hours, and then the video was just taken down. But there's no consequences put onto the Facebook page, so they're just free to go and upload again if they wish. Like they don't have any like cautions put on them or anything like that. So that's all that I know.
So basically, they take it down and they can put the things back up straight away, and you've got to then basically start that system again. Yeah. That's insane. How about you, Heath? Did you have any?
As far as having to, put extra effort into trying to chase these videos down?
Yeah, I mean, have you had any that have been resolved and worked in your favour, the way it should have been resolved, and finished with, done, dusted, and moved on, or are you still having these tussles?
For the most part, I mean, I don't know. I've been back and forth through email with a few of these Facebook pages, and most of them, sent me an email requesting, to use my content on their page, and I basically just listed what my requirements are. And if I've had a couple kick back a message, oh, well, we're not interested, and then wait a couple of days, and then you'll get another email. Oh, well, our editing department decided to pick your video up again. Is there any chance we can still share that video? So a little bit of back and forth, and all in all, it's exposure. I agree with Chris. It's frustrating because we've all caught where folks just upload it on their page, no credit, and it actually looks like the individual that's running that page is, one heck of a woodworker or whatever, it may be, but that's my opinion anyhow.
Sure. Well, hopefully, I mean, Sarah, you've just joined us. Hopefully you've got some insight, something you can weigh in on regarding this topic.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi. Yeah, no, I was just sitting here listening to this, and I was just like, I was kind of seething a little bit over here because me, for the last 6 years, I've actually done social media management, which means I control what goes on social media for pages and for content, and Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, all that good stuff. And from a content creator standpoint, not as what you guys do when you make videos, but as somebody who creates the stuff for social media, a lot of times you have pressure from whoever is over top of you or whatever company is owning that page. And it's so easy. You were talking about there's apps you can download to get YouTube videos. It's not even that. There's literally a website that you go to, you drop the link in, you pull the YouTube video off of there. And I've done it before. I've had to do it for whatever reason, because not to steal somebody's content, but to do it. So it's terrible. It's awful. And even it happens in real life. Like I was saying in the chat, people get mad at me because they come to my table and try to take pictures of my artwork, and I tell them not to because they're going to share it. They're going to replicate it. They're going to do whatever. But Facebook is actually trying to roll out more. It's a competition, like with YouTube and Facebook. So if you rip something off of YouTube, you put it on Facebook, Facebook has no way of knowing if you're the original content creator. You click that little button that says, it was mine,
Right.
And that's you could be uploading anything. As long as you, the person doing it, says, that's mine, it doesn't matter. And Facebook wants content. They want people to stay on their website. So it is a horrific battle. And there's not much you can do other than track it down and try to stop it to begin with. And
well, Sarah, let me ask you a question, because I understand and I appreciate the fact that Facebook is going to be friggin' ignorant of the fact of whether this is a YouTube video or not. And I mean, Facebook will know if I took my video, copied the URL from my video, and put it on Facebook. Facebook's going to know, okay, that came from YouTube, and I know that they know that because I know that Facebook does not share YouTube videos URLs at all, or very much. Let's put it that way. But when I just upload a video directly to YouTube, like some of these people are doing, Facebook doesn't know that is your content, so they're not really to blame for that. So I'm not blaming Facebook for that. I guess the only blame I have that I want to bitch about towards Facebook is the process in which it takes a creator to identify that, show that to them, and then have them take it down. Seems to take an excessive amount of time and an excessive amount of effort.
No, that's a problem, and it's a problem with anything. Like, I've seen people, I actually bailed out of a company I used to work with because they were stealing content from other people, and that's ridiculous. Like, when you put your name on it, that's one thing, you know, but to say that it's yours, that's a blow straight to the knees. So that's terrible. And there's not much of a process put in place. And until there is a better process, it's extremely difficult to do that. But as technology grows, it's easier to do those things. So why, as a content creator for myself, I'm not defending people stealing people's YouTube videos by any stretch of the imagination. But as somebody like me, who does it, who has to have content for pages, and if I am looking for an influencer and I see this person has all these likes and all this, you know, great reach and whatever, why would I not steal it? So there's a huge gap in all of this that somehow we kind of have to come together and figure out how to stop that. And I don't have an answer for it, but I think it's a pain in the ass.
Well,
actually.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I've got actually an interesting insight. I think Facebook does have the capability to do a lot more than them doing in terms of figuring out the source before it even goes public. Because I've got an example where I was actually stealing somebody else's content. Because I make little teaser videos to put up on my Facebook page to tell people that I've got a new YouTube video coming up. Well, for the Game of Thrones glasses, of course, that's Game of Thrones insignia and stuff like that. So you can argue that I've stole their copyright, it's their logos, everything like that. When I tried to upload that video, Facebook stopped it straight away, saying I didn't own that content. Strangely enough, the content that it was being copyrighted for was the Floyd Mayweather fight that was recently on. And I ended up just putting like a picture in the end. But I couldn't work out how it figured out that there was the images on there to start with, but then to get the link wrong to say it was a Mayweather fight that I was infringing on. So there is something there. There is something that's checking these videos.
It's for the heavy hitters. It's for companies that are the funds and everything to go, oh, there's a thing that's our thing, and you can't have that thing up there. But for everything else, for people like us, it's a
Yeah, I think Sarah's right. I think for the big corporations that can alert Facebook and say, hey guys, you know, obviously we're big and we're huge, and if this shows up on your page without authorization, we demand that you take it down, and Facebook is going to cower to that. But for Joe Whitaker, Chris Cute, Richard Morley, you know, Heath Knuckles, they're going to look at that and go, we don't know, because we don't have that kind of clout. With, you know, and so they're going to run that as long as they possibly can, because let's be honest, Facebook makes money off of the adverts that run on Facebook, and they want people to stay on their website as long as they possibly can. So content is content, and it's gold for them, and they're in no hurry to take something down that has, Joe, like your video that has 1 million views on it. They're not going to, like, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we better go fix that if they've got 1 million friggin' views on a video, because they've had 1 million friggin' opportunities to hit somebody with an ad impression. It's just, yes, they legally have to do it. Yes, they legally will do it, but they sure do drag their feet on it, is all I'm saying. It's frustrating.
Yeah, because I think if you go to YouTube, there are, not YouTube, sorry, if you go to Facebook to, you know, keep in touch with your family and friends, there are adverts, things related, things that they want you to see within that page, down the side and all the rest of it. So if you've got 1 million people looking at that video, regardless of where it's come from, that's 1 million people looking at their webpage that are being exposed to the things that they want you to see, the things that they're making money from people clicking on. And if they've got 1 million people potentially looking at that thing, just playing the numbers game, they're going to have a percentage of that million people likely to click on a source of income for them. So why, like you say, why would they, jump on it straight away? So, I mean, I think we could talk about this until 2019. And Sarah, you've actually brought in some really good points that I hadn't necessarily thought about, and I'm sure other people wouldn't as well. So it's good getting a first-person perspective from kind of, I guess, the other side of the fence to what we're used to. But thinking for the people listening to this and the people watching the live show, what can we as individuals do to help other creators, to try and nip it as close to the bud as possible to do it? Has anyone got anything they want to add from that side? I mean, what would you do if you saw,
I mean, from my perspective, there's not a whole lot right now. Right now, currently right now, other than a couple extra pain in the butt steps that you could take, like put on your website or, on your content, like somebody was saying, put, like DeResta has his name on everything, there's not a whole lot you can do because the technology, it's so easy. Just take a screenshot or snag a video or copy something, that falls into a whole nother realm of people copying other people's work. I mean, like, it's just.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Richard, I think individually, the only things that we can do, and there's one thing that we haven't touched on that I think we should probably touch on before we finish this topic out is, and a lot of it is already being done, is that we have creators looking out for other creators back. When we see somebody else's video on somebody else's page, if it's Facebook that we're going to talk about today, then we have and have a pretty good track record as a community of alerting the person whose video just got stolen of that fact, saying, "Hey, Heath, dude, I just saw your video on this guy's Facebook page and he's representing it as his own. You may want to take care of that." But let's understand, we have to understand one thing. When that happens, the only person who can actually file a claim and make a difference on that video is Heath.
Yeah.
You can complain, but Facebook will not let me, loving Heath as much as I do, get in there and go, "Hey, that's Heath's video. You should have that taken down." Facebook doesn't care. Mm-hmm. It has to be Heath that files the claim. And so the best thing that we can do is at this point, and sadly, it's all we can do, is let the person know when we've seen their videos being used by somebody else, and at least alert them to that fact. So other than that, I don't know how else to handle it. I mean, and then Heath, it's up to Heath to go through the Facebook process. And I'm using Heath just as an example. It could be Joe, it could be Jamie. I'm just talking about whoever's video gets stolen. It's got to be you who files the claim. Individually, we can't do it as people who know that it's stolen. We have to just alert the person whose property it truly is, because we don't own that, so Facebook's not going to recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that works for YouTube as well. And
It does.
I might be wrong. I'm hoping I'm not, but personally, I've seen a lot less talk about YouTube channels popping up, stealing other YouTube channel stuff. That seems to be on the decline, thankfully. And hopefully I'm right, and that I'm not just missing. It seems to be more on other networks. Mm-hmm. But I saw a video on YouTube from a YouTuber who is now, and I've just checked this, well over 250,000 subscribers. He is a well-known, I won't say the person's name, but you will know this person, all of you, and everyone listening as well. One of their videos was stolen, and I messaged them directly through YouTube, straight to their account. And a couple of days later, they replied. I said, "This channel," sent them the link, is taking your videos and others as well. And I got a reply back from the creator, and it was basically, "Yeah, I know, I don't care. It's an old video. It's not making me anything." And that really shocked me. It was like, what do you don't care? I honestly was just baffled. And it was because it was, for me, it was like, well,
I don't care if somebody with 250,000 or even 1 million subscribers isn't making anything off that video anymore. It's like, I struggle with the fact that somebody perhaps doesn't recognize the principle.
That's it. I think a good way to look at it, I thought of a good analogy actually. If you took that into the real world, I don't know whether they do this in America, but in the UK, if a building company's been working on somebody's house, they usually cut a deal, say they've done your driveway for a week or 2 weeks, they'll leave a sign at the front of the driveway to say, "We did this work." So it's basically the same as another building firm rocking up, taking down their sign, putting up their new one to say, we did this driveway, when of course it was never those who did that work. I think nobody would be happy under that circumstance, and a building firm definitely wouldn't allow a competitor to do that either. And even though it's digital, it's still your possession, your hard work, your time, and it's yours.
Mm-hmm. And I've actually seen creators do this too, and this is super sad and really upsets me, and I've called them out for it. I know an artist. He made a separate Instagram account, and he puts pictures of sexy ladies on there, and every like 3 pictures he puts a picture of his own work up there, and he steals other pictures from other Instagrams. Brilliant marketing, very clever, very smart, really jacked up. And that's what's happening. Like, because people are trying so hard to get their stuff out there, they're doing everything they can, and it's messed up. And the only thing you can do is be on the lookout. There's programs and there's apps that listen for, I say listen, they listen for your content, they listen for keywords, they listen for hashtags, they listen for all that stuff. Then you can watch that stuff easier. But also call people out. Like the guy who did the Instagram account, I was like, that's shady.
Yeah, it is.
It is. I have actually, I'm thinking back, I have had a video stolen. Well, not stolen, but it was, I guess it was stolen if you want to call it out nuts and bolts. I bought a tool years and years ago. I did a review on it and I put it up on my YouTube channel. I thought no more of it. And within about a fortnight, this video appeared in my subscriber feed, and my video appeared in my feed from this other, and I was like, what? That video is... and that was the only way I found it. And I went and looked at it, and I think it had got like 50 or 60 views, nothing major. But whenever I do a review of something, I always try and be balanced. You get the good and the bad. You get the nuts and the bolts and warts and all. And all honest, not what someone else wants me to do. So I'd said, I like this, but that could be better, and that's a bit rubbish, and this takes ages to adjust, but it's really cheap and it does its job. So if you can work with that, whatever. And they'd edited out certain bits and conveniently left in certain other bits, and that's fine, but it totally changed the tone of the video.
Right.
It's almost like when you catch a politician on record saying something, and then you edit it out and it makes them sound completely the opposite of what they're trying to say. It's all out of context. And I was like, hang on a minute, take off your watermark, put mine back, because they cropped that out. If you're gonna do it, these are my criteria. Just a bit like Heath. Right. You say, my watermark, my links, my credit. It was completely changed. And I think other channels have had similar from these guys. Well, I won't badmouth and name them. But.
Well, I had an idea a while back, and Sarah will chime in on this because she's very knowledgeable, and Joe obviously corrected me and told me. But I had a very simple idea that I thought would work, and then unfortunately Joe said, "Chris, there's always a workaround," and yes, there is always a workaround. But if YouTube could embed, and I don't know how YouTube could embed something on a download, but if for any video that was, because let's be honest, how do you guys look at this? When you upload a video to YouTube, it's between you and YouTube. You have an agreement. All of the videos that are on YouTube are YouTube's property. They make that very clear when you sign up for a YouTube channel. That's their property, right? So if they could, on a download process, watermark across the entire friggin' screen, even just their logo that says YouTube, to make any downloadable video that is downloaded from their site inusable, that would solve the problem. But like Joe said, Chris, there's always somebody out there in tech who can figure out what that watermark code is. They can delete it, and the same thing is going to happen. And because the work that we know that's going on, but wouldn't that at least help? Or at least be somewhat prohibited?
There's some metadata that's already in your videos and in your pictures and in stuff. You could wipe some of that clean, and it's not all of it transfers. So there is stuff, but I don't know.
But Sarah, what I'm thinking is if you download my video or I download your video, and I'm going, okay, I want to use this. Because there's pluses and minuses to this. Because as video creators, we like to do collaborations, and we upload things to YouTube and download things to share with each other. But if I download your video just because I want to save it and love it and have it forever, and YouTube has left a watermark across that entire video to the point where I can't really see the content that's going on in that video anymore, it would almost make the video content useless to use. And so these pirates couldn't do it. But as Joe pointed out, Chris, if YouTube can write code to put that in there, there are people who can write code to fuse that code so that it'll go away. And so it might be a futile effort, but initially it may work, but not for long.
Even like not even going into it at a code level, like you can have software that'll screen record. So people will record their gameplay. If you're playing a game on your computer, it'll record the screen. You could just literally capture the screen, everything you're doing. Yeah. So it's kind of impossible in that respect. The one thing at the minute, though, as far as I'm aware, because I download other people's videos when I was doing while the glue dries not being live. So I download the video, take the clip that I want to show, like to show what they've done kind of thing, and then put it in my video. You can only download in 720p. So you could have a video that's uploaded to YouTube in 4K, and apart from doing a screen capture, you can only get it down in 720p. But that isn't obviously deterring anybody.
No, isn't. No, I hear
you. Hopefully these guys will be slowed down, stopped, and I think probably the take-home message is if you see this stuff happening, alert the person that's affected, and everybody club together and work as the big hive mind that we are, and to basically fight these unscrupulous people like Sarah who do it for a living. I'm teasing. Sarah doesn't really steal people's content.
Thank you guys for having me on. I'll let you finish your stuff up. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for coming on. It's always good to get another person's perspective, particularly someone, like I said, who's been there and does it.
Pay attention to developer tools in all of your social media. Those will really help you out in the long run, and it can also offer better integrations with all the rest of your stuff. So pay attention to those developer tools is my best advice. Not just as a don't steal my stuff aspect, but as a moving forward and growing, I guess. So that's my advice. But thank you guys so much.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on, Sarah. Good to see you again. Excellent. So on that note, does anybody have any shout outs or people they want to plug? We'll start with Heath, just to put him on the spot, because he's our guest, and sometimes it feels like we ignore our guests.
Thank you, Richard. Again, I haven't had a chance to watch much of YouTube lately. I've been busy in the shop, but I'd have to say Sarah, IG. I met her down in Atlanta, and Jamie, I think he has her work tattooed on his leg, I do believe. But just an amazing human being, awesome artist, and just really enjoy looking at her. I mean, I stumble across some of her pictures, and just I truly get a kick out of it. Just awesome stuff. She's a sweetheart, and I'd definitely say Sarah. There's plenty out there, but again, I haven't had a chance to catch up on YouTube, and for that I do apologize. But I need to sit down for half a day and catch up on some videos. How about you, Richard?
Do you know what? I'm exactly the same as you. There must be a gazillion hours of footage go up on YouTube every second, and it is, like you say, it's impossible to keep up. So I haven't got a shout out for a new video, but going back to what Jamie mentioned, no, it was Joe. I do apologise. Joe talking about the cheese that he loves and what cheese he likes. My shout out is going to be it's a Monty Python sketch called The Cheese Shop Sketch. If you haven't seen it, watch it. You will laugh your socks off. If you have, and I suspect Heath does know what I'm talking about, the way he's already chuckling and nodding there.
Well, you said Monty Python, so.
Yeah, yeah. The Monty Python's Cheese Shop Sketch. Look at it. It's from loads of different channels have got the sketch on there. It is hilarious. You'll love it. And yeah, good stuff. Anybody else, Chris?
Yeah, actually, I do. I will shout out a channel, and no video in particular. A former guest of ours that we had on a while back that I don't want people to forget about, because the gentleman does awesome cinematography, and I just like his approach. Bill Sin, the Bill Sin Workshop. If you haven't checked out Bill Sin, give him a look, because Bill does good stuff, and he's a good guy, and I enjoy a lot of his videos. So it's just an entertaining channel. So if you haven't had the opportunity to go check out Bill Sin, give him a look. The link will be in the description. Excellent.
Joe, Jamie, question mark?
There's actually 3 people I want to mention.
Now's the time.
The first one is another guest that we've had on the show, Alan. We can't forget about him.
Yep.
Right. Guest.
Yeah, I was just going to touch over that.
The second one is we can't really do it without the Heath.
Okay.
Now, the spheres he's putting out is just incredible. Not to mention when you watch Heath's videos, you kind of go in like a trance.
Thank you, Jamie.
Mesmerizing. Yeah.
All right, well, he's going to blame you if he gets into a car accident. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. I won't be able to watch his video. I'd be too busy drinking.
I thought that was my job.
And the third channel I want to mention is Sophie from Make It Soph. She's definitely an up and comer. So yeah, absolutely. That's my 3 shout outs.
I think you've picked 3 excellent ones there. I mean, Heath, you make art from your raw materials. You start off a turning project with one of your blanks that you've made, and that in it, just the raw material for your project is art in its own right. And you are your own rabbit hole on YouTube. Your channel just always amazing.
Thank you, Richard.
And honestly, you are. I can't be any more open or honest about that. And Soph as well. She's not a woodworker per se. She makes out of all kinds of stuff, and as Joe said when she was on, it's that sideways thinking that's fresh and new that's always good to see. So yeah, fantastic.
It's all about perspective.
Good
and stuff. I agree with you, Richard. Yeah,
good picks.
Also believe Heath actually has something for us.
Oh yes, I do. I think you're talking about this, I believe.
Oh wow.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a blank, but it is its own piece of artwork already.
Really is.
Heath, okay. First of all, do we have to give that away, or do I have to be the
Yes, no. This
this
is for Makers International to give away a piece, and I think I'll let Jamie pick it up from here.
Oh, dang.
We can do that whenever. We can do that whenever you like. We can wait until we come back after the new year or whenever.
Yeah,
Jamie,
it's entirely up to you guys. That's just a donation to Makers International, and I wish Alan was with us at the moment. But guys, thank you so much. I truly appreciate your support and having me on the show. It's feels good. This community's got a whole lot of love. We love
does. You know what? He just got a whole lot of love for you, my man, because you are a good dude. And thank you for doing that. And I'm just sorry that you want us to give that away, and that I can't wrestle Richard, Jamie, Joe, and Alan for it, because I'd like.
They're already picking numbers.
I'll go with whatever Chad says.
No, yeah, whatever Chad says is going to be the number, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Joe, what about you, buddy?
Well, I'm going to mention somebody who isn't on YouTube yet. She should be starting a channel this year.
Do you have inside information here, Joe? Is this a Makers International exclusive?
I pull all the strings behind the scenes, you see. But she's got a Facebook page already, and that's Out of the Woods Woodworking. I'll make sure that there's a link there. So, like, we're recording this like 3 weeks before it's even sorted, so that'll all be done and dusted by the time you're listening to this. But it's Claire. She does amazing work. If you see any of her Facebook posts, she does fantastic stuff. And the video she's going to be coming out with, she's got some great ideas. So it's going to be one to look out for, that's for sure.
Awesome. And
I actually saw a picture that she did, and I think it was a plywood clock.
Yep.
She did. That was really, really nice.
Yeah, she does some amazing stuff. She did a fab lolly recently, a giant fab light up lolly. Like in America, Fab is like an ice lolly that's got chocolate with sprinkles at the top, then like a white creamy part in the halfway down, and then strawberry at the bottom. And like she's got the lolly stick on it and everything.
Didn't Jimmy DeResta do one in the massive?
Yeah,
was it a Fab he did?
Yeah, like a prop.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, guys? This has been awesome. Happy belated New Year to everybody. Heath, my man, that blank rocks. Thank you so much for donating that, and we will do an episode solely devoted to giving that away because that is just how special that is. But thanks so much for coming on with us today, man. I mean, you are the man. I love you.
And I think I'll see everyone here on the panel at Maker Central May 5th and 6th.
Yes, we will.
May 5th and 6th, 2018. So
we could do our collaboration.
Yes, exactly.
Joe,
so you and I get to get some English beer and then give a perspective on it.
Yeah, Joe, you're the distraction. Jamie, you're helping me rob all the blanks out of Heath's luggage, okay? And then we'll divvy it all up at the end.
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
Wicked. Well, as Chris has said, I don't want to tempt fate, but we are good for an hour on here. So, thank you for listening. If you are indeed still listening, I don't know why, because some of you might have been here 3 hours. Heath, thanks for coming on. It has, as always, been a pleasure to speak with you again. And happy New Year to everybody. And we'll see you back here next week for another topic. But I don't know what it'll be yet.
But we'll find out. Have a great week, everybody.
Yeah, you take care.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.